race is raising red flags for Republicans who are trying to hold on to their razor-thin one-vote majority in the House. Joining us now, former Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy. Perfect person to talk to about this. So this could go a number of different ways in terms of the analysis. You know, Republicans maybe get a little bit complacent when they've won a seat for years and years and years, and the president handily won it. This is a Texas Senate seat. It's not a national race. Are you worried about what this flip may mean for the midterm elections, or is it just a one-off?
Yes and no, but you've got to look at this. This is a state Senate race, and it's a special election. Democrats always do well in a special election down here, but the Democrats did something very smart. They got a candidate that looked like a Republican. He ran on issues of President Trump. So President Trump would still carry this seat by 17 points. And the Republicans' candidate really didn't even live in Fort Worth, so it played against him. But this is another thing I would worry about. If you look at the generic ballot where it's at, it's about a D+6. That's a bad sign. If you look at New Jersey and Virginia, historically, it's an off-year election. If Democrats win both those governor's races, they usually flip the House. If Republicans win one, they usually flip the House. Well, Democrats won both. But you really want to look at the legislative races in Virginia. There were 8 Republican seats that Republicans had that Kamala Harris carried. They won all 8 of those. But they also picked up about another 4 or 5 of Republican seats that Trump carried up to 4.5. So the part that worries me is that I think Republicans have the advantage when it comes to money. Republicans have advantage. Democrats are probably the weakest they've ever been in leadership with Schumer and Hakeem. And then if you look at favorability, Republican Party is still up by another 10 points. But what concerns me is how the Republicans have done with their majority. When the Democrats shut down the government, they kept all the Republicans out for 2 months.
Right.
You only had the majority for 24 months, and you gave them 2 months. You should have been passing bills that were 80-20 approval and putting these Democrats in tough positions. So I am impressed, though, with Congressman Brian Jack. He's a freshman. He ran a lot of President Trump's political stuff. But he's a congressman now, and he's been out recruiting, just came back from Texas. I like what he's doing, so I got hope.
You mentioned the money. I mean, the RNC is trouncing the DNC, and they don't have any debt.
The DNC is in
tons of debt, but $16 million. The NRCC is way above the DCCC in terms of fundraising ahead of this midterm cycle. On the issues that really matter, Democrats are not trusted at all when it comes to the border, when it comes to the economy. President Trump's approval rating is at the same level as it was when he won in a landslide across the country.
You know what I'm worried about for Republicans? That President Trump's not on the ballot. Because when he's on the ballot, he brings people out. President Trump not only won the presidential election, he carried all swing states and won the popular vote. That is a very big accomplishment for any Republican. Now, the thing I worry about is Republicans still lost seats. President Trump won Nevada, Arizona, Michigan, and Wisconsin, and the Senate didn't win that. The Republicans in the House, they lost seats that President Trump carried by 6.
Right.
And if you look 4 years prior to that, there wasn't one Republican incumbent to lose. We picked up 13 seats from Democrats.
Do you see that as a problem because Republicans are detaching themselves from Trump and not embracing the Trump agenda? Or do you see it I mean, what is the disconnect between Trump being on the ballot and Republicans not being able to pull their own weight?
I see too much infighting with Republicans in the House. Look, in 3 weeks, they passed more discharge petitions than they have in 30 years. That's literally giving the House over to the Democrats. You are the majority. That should not take place. The other thing, too, is they sit and fight among themselves of whether they're going to pass a rule. That's not the place to be. You need to work together. Otherwise, you won't be able to win together. And this whole campaign is going to be based upon the economy and health care. And I watched, they waited to the last minutes to propose something on health care when they knew all along this was the deadline.
Because Democrats put a cliff in.
Exactly. Democrats did it all.
They put the cliff in to have a health care debate during an election year. They do this every single time. That's exactly what they did.
They did not want a solution, the Democrats.
Of course
Democrats wanted
they want the political
so they could blame
argument.
everything on Republicans.
Right.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.